Good afternoon. I'm Andrew Vermes, and I'm happy that you're joining me for 15 minutes to discover some of the key elements of effective problem solving. Welcome to KT, Kepner-Tregoe. We're a small international consulting firm specializing in effective problem solving in a variety of industries, and many of you already know that. This webinar is recorded for later viewing, and you can download the slides you see in the attachment field at any time. Please do ask questions using the question button as we go through these 15 minutes. The purpose of these webinars is to help you and your colleagues who have not yet met Kepner-Tregoe to navigate problems more effectively and with less stress to you and to your organization. This is the first of 8 modules. Please do sign up for the sessions you like on Bright Talk, search for KT, and share with friends. So these are the 8 modules. You can see module 1, problems come in different shapes, is here now. And then module 2 is about making sure that you and your colleagues are well understood whenever you have issues or challenges. Module 3 about finding cause. Module 4 about resolving priority conflicts. Module 5, making sure we get a good problem definition. Then 6, how to influence decisions. Then 7, making sure that you maximize all opportunities. And finally, module 7 and 8, making sure that you use pessimism productively. Now, let's move on. The subject for today. First, I want to stress the importance of focusing on your purpose in all communication, whether that's in meetings, emails, letters. Do people still do that? Instant messages, Yammer, Slack, and anywhere else you share and explore with colleagues. Make sure you know what you're trying to do and select the appropriate approach to fit that purpose. And this has, of course, become even more important as we work with less personal contact in the current crisis. I'll share the key reasons for communication in business, and we'll work through a short example. There's also something for you to do at the end, which will bring you some practical benefits. So look out for that towards the end. First, let's look at reasons why we communicate. First is social, up there on the left-hand side. Social is first and vitally important. You've all read many books and articles about social interaction, so we won't duplicate those here. We'll be focusing on the work environment, and at work, you'll find 5 different core reasons to work with others. The first is to share issues. Clearly, you want to raise awareness of what's happening that's affecting us and our business, and agreeing priorities, and generally understanding the big picture so you can move forward effectively. Second, finding cause. In some circumstances, some things go wrong, you want to find the cause, and you need to investigate in order to have confidence that the solutions you're proposing will work. Third reason to communicate. It's around making decisions where there are different options, and it does make a difference what we select, or who we select if we're talking about hiring or promotion. Fourth, managing risk, raising awareness of things that can go wrong and working to prevent them. And 5, making sure you avoid missing out and opportunities do not pass you by. Now, why the separation? Because these 5 do need different types of thinking, different types of conversation, often different people, and mixing them up usually causes frustration and delay. If we take a moment to think about what we're trying to do and focus on that, specifically that, whether it's a decision, an investigation, or an issue sharing, every kind of communication gets better. So where does this fit into your day? Let's just have a quick look at the first of these. And we've got a poll for you now, asking you, how often are your meetings confusing? Please start voting now. Quite often or occasionally seems to be the majority here. Rarely, well done, absolutely splendid. Well done, you folks who rarely have confusing meetings. You're probably already KT customers. So that's an interesting poll. Now let's move forward. Much of working life is routine. You prepare reports, you check in at hotels, not at the moment, you replace a motherboard, the end result's clear, you know what you have to do, you have the necessary resources, and things get done. Now, life is not, sadly, always like that, and sometimes we are in the position of asking ourselves the question, what are we going to do now? In that context, some problems are relatively simple. Handled quickly by a tire change, or on the right-hand side, a reboot. But every day, we do encounter one or more situations where the way forward is not immediately obvious. It needs some thought and perhaps to consult some other people. So this is where we take ourselves to the vital importance of focus. Purpose-led, clear thinking and communication. Depending on the task, the problem, or the issue at hand, you'll need to focus in one of the following ways, and that will come up on the slide in just a moment. I can see that my monitor screen hasn't got there yet, but let's go through these right now. We will either want to understand the big picture. Let's go back and forward, there it is. Understand the big picture, or we'll want to investigate for cause, or we'll want to choose a workable solution, or all of those. Maybe we need to minimize risk of something we're doing, and certainly we want to spot and use opportunities. Now, let me throw a couple of examples at you as I talk. And let's throw them here. The gearbox keeps on seizing on body making machine number 17. Many of you are thinking red, and that's absolutely right. Second example, there's a complex set of issues around morale in the company, and that's true right now. Yeah, you'll be looking at number one, understanding the big picture. Third example, we seem to have some conflict about whether to swap out the Magma machine or try a modification. Here we're in the realm of choosing a workable solution. Here's another example. We're due another major upgrade next weekend, and these often go badly. There will be in the realm of a discussion of minimizing risk. And then finally, with the new app, we could move beyond appealing to our usual customers. There's talk of an opportunity. And the purpose in showing you this is that all of the research of Kepner-Tregoe way back to 1958 indicates that single-purpose conversations work better. So understand whether you're investigating cause or looking for the bigger picture or looking for opportunities. And for those few minutes of that meeting, not the whole meeting necessarily, focus on that until you get some kind of progress. You don't need to do that in this order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at all. It's whatever suits you in your meeting, but try not to mix up those 5 different kinds of communication, those 5 different kinds of thinking, because we find it doesn't work. Now, I have a short exercise for you, which is coming on the next screen. And in the attachments, you'll find an article. So I'd like you to go to the attachment button. It says Guardian article. Please open that now. And the webcast will catch up with us in a moment. So if you open up the Guardian article and start to use your highlighter on screen, or just make some notes on your notepad, and mark the passages as you read. Big picture, or solution, or cause, or risk, or opportunity. Now, you may be watching this recording afterwards, and so for those people watching the recording later, you can try this too. And do send me your comments about what you're seeing here. So I'm going to go silent for just a couple of minutes to give you a moment to try to read that article. So for those of you not seeing the slides, they are not advancing as quickly as I would wish. Sometimes there's a little bit of delay between the slide advancing in the BrightTalk system on my screen and when you're receiving it on your screen. But we get there eventually. So now you can see my assessment of this. So I've just highlighted some of the passages from that article here, and there's a fairly succinct explanation of why we should pay attention, at least if we're New Zealanders concerned with our freshwater. And that's highlighted in blue. And then there's a fairly succinct explanation of the evidence around the causes, or at least the possible causes of all of this. There clearly will be some disputes about the science of all this, in red. Then we've got some passages about what the government has proposed doing about it. So we have a freshwater management reform that's been developed and ready to go. Now that's kind of interesting, but there's a set of risks here that's being pointed up because these freshwater reforms have not yet been implemented. And those risks are detailed, frequent and longer droughts. And actually when you look at a piece like this, it's nicely written precisely because the different categories of information have been clearly separated. They're not all bunched together, they're not all merged and confused. So this is a nice piece of writing, at least in my view. Now, where does this take us now? Well, it takes us to some homework. Now, you didn't think when you were coming to a BrightTalk seminar you were going to get some homework, so here's a surprise for you. I'm going to give you some homework. In the attachments area, there's a book chapter. Read it if you like. It's kind of interesting on this topic of how do you practically separate different kinds of information and different kinds of communication. So that's well worth a read. It won't take very long. And then a challenge for you. At your next meeting, you probably have one right after this, make some notes, but then mark each comment as being big picture, solution, cause, risk, opportunity. It might be social, that's fine too. And start making notes about what's happening when these things get mixed up. And please do send me some comments by email or by Twitter as you work through this. Oh my goodness. There's a problem there. After downloading the article, I could not get the audio to work again. Sorry about that. That seems to be a BrightTalk issue, but we'll probably manage to get around that sooner or later. So there's your homework. Do send me your comments via Twitter or email. Now, the next module is going to be on Thursday at the same time. Sign up at BrightTalk, search for KT, and this is all about understanding the big picture and getting there fast. If you want more in-depth training, you do know where to find it. It's at these links. And do start engaging with me in what you find. Start talking to me and others about what happens when you start mixing up different kinds of communication. You'll find me at Andrew Vermes on LinkedIn and at Vermes Andrew on Twitter. Love to have a conversation with you about all these things. But otherwise, it's been really good that you've been able to join us. and really good that you've been able to take this on. And please do send me lots of feedback about what you've done with this at the Twitter or via LinkedIn messages. And hope to see you all on Thursday. Thanks very much for viewing. Bye-bye for now.